Hey there, Heather Boyd Wire here.
Today I'm making a beautiful beaded bracelet inspired by my rings to make and sell tutorial. I'll link it in the description. We're starting with 6 inches of 16 gauge artistic wire. We are going to turn one end with the smallest part of our bead-along bail making pliers, and we're going to center that loop. So then we're going to clip the other wire flush and do the same thing. Just turn the end and then do a little half bend to center that loop. So once we have that done, we're going to make sure it's nicely centered, and then we will get our flat pliers. These are the Xuron tweezer nose pliers, and we're going to bend that loop up at a right angle on both wires. So once we have those two pieces completed, we can add our beads. So I'm stringing in a piece of 18 gauge artistic wire. I'll link up all my materials in the description below. We're going to twist the end of the wire around about 3 times. You can twist it as many times as you like. And we want to make sure the coil is nice and tight, and bend the 18 gauge wire out to add our beads. So I'm going to put an 8mm miracle bead, and then a metal spacer bead, and another miracle bead, another spacer bead, and then one more miracle bead. So now we're going to take the other 16 gauge wire and just put the 18 gauge wire through the loop and hold it firmly in place and wind the wire around the base wire. So really hold those beads firmly in place. This part's a little bit tricky, and you want to firmly push the wire around the base wire. We're going to go around about 3 times. You can wind it as much as you want. It will get a little distorted, but you can easily twist it back in shape. Now hold the end with the flat pliers to do an additional little twist to make it more solid. You can make them the same on both sides. Do the same number of twists, squeezing it with the tweezer nose pliers to get the coils nice and tight. Just go back and forth to make sure they're even, twist it to make sure they're in the right position, and then once you're happy with that, you can clip the ends with the flush cutters. I've cut my wires way too long, but better too long than too short. So once you've snipped the ends, you can pinch in that little pokey end on both sides and do any little adjustments that you need to make it straight and even. So we can just do that by hand, straighten it out, and there you go. So now we're going to put it on the artistic wire bracelet jig. I'll link that up in the description below, and bend the wires around either side. If you don't have this jig, you can use a round form like a large pill bottle. So we're going to bring the ends around and make sure those beads are centered. You can adjust those little loops if you need to bring them in a little bit to hug the beads. And then once you're happy with that, remove it from the jig, get your bail making pliers, and bring the wires around the bail making pliers to do a little bit of a hook there. So on one side, we're going to make a hook. We're bringing the wire back and then getting our small round nose pliers to make a teeny loop to finish the end so it's not scratchy. Push it in a little bit more with your flat pliers so that loop is really small, and then give it a little clip with the flush cutters and pinch it in so it's not pokey, and you can squeeze it to close the hook a little bit. So now we're going to do the loop on the other side. We're going to make a closed loop, center that loop just by bringing it back a little bit, and then we're going to clip it. If your wire was longer, you can wind that end around, but you can also just clip it flush. We're going to give it a little bit of a half turn so it's in the right position for the hook to go in, and you can also adjust the hook to bring it in a bit so it's easier to hook it into the loop. So just go in with your bail making pliers, do any little adjustments that you need, and the same on the loop side, just adjust it, and then it will be able to hook right in there. And there you have your very beautiful, simple bracelet. This is a great bracelet that you could sell at craft shows, and you could do a multitude of different bead combinations as well. This design works well for beads that don't fit on the 16 gauge wire, and I have another simpler design for beads that have larger holes and that will fit right on the 16 gauge wire. I will link it up in the description below.
So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire art and jewelry, be sure to join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to sign up below, I'll send you my Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.